voice said, let's do it. All right, so if you guys noticed, we basically started off the week for all of the newbies with the basics, all right? Basically showing you how to enter in and exit in the trade, understanding terminologies so you could know exactly what to do. Then we took you over to, the impulse strategy yesterday, which is my bread and butter. Remember, the impulse strategy, I've never taken a loss. Most of the losses, I know you guys can be like, well, why he's about to train us over where he took losses? But the 12 losses I took was in the same trading that we're going to go over called consolidation. Now, why do we trade consolidation? All right, so trading consolidation for me was being able to trade any time of the day once the market is open up. All right, so usually you have the market moving three ways. The market is either moving up, it's moving down, or it's moving sideways. Okay, so if the market is moving sideways, then basically it's consolidating. And what that means is it's finding its highs and its lows and just moving sideways. All right. So as a scalper, as a scalp trader, you can basically capitalize and catch numerous of pips, a lot of pips. Paul, I think we have somebody. There you go. You can catch a whole lot of pips, basically with consolidation, because remember, when we're scalping, we're in and out of the market pretty quick. So what I'm going to go over tonight, guys, is basically what to look for when it's consolidating and how do you react to it and catching the pips. So we still go into, use the same, information we went over on, using the goals, the 4 pips in profit, all that stuff we're going to run through. So make sure you take notes, take pictures, record if you want to. But, this here consolidation is basically unstoppable. You want to make money, you go in the market, you can trade. The impulse, you capitalize on it when the market is moving with the news. So that's the correction. That's what we talked about yesterday. Impulse is, every action have a reaction. So the action is the impulse, the reaction is you hitting the correction. All right. So that there, is what we went over yesterday. Now it's going to be consolidating. All right. Let's go ahead and share my screen. All right. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right, guys. So, like anything, we got to put a disclaimer out there. Basically, past results doesn't guarantee future results. What I do doesn't mean you can do it. You can actually do more or better than what I've done. But there is also a disclaimer on everything you do, all right? Same goals. Remember we talked about everything you do in life, you set a goal, all right? And then when you set those goals, you have plans behind those goals to make that goal come through, make it a reality. All right, a goal without plans is just a dream. Anytime you not being a goal setter, hear that voice go in your mind. All right. So same goes as scalping the impulse. 5 trades a day. Now with this stop loss and profit on the consolidation, this is going to actually work better for you. Using the 4 pips in profit when you're scalping the consolidation, other than the impulse. Impulse, you kind of 9 times out of 10, you kind of basically guarantee your 10 pips, for the correction. But the consolidation, you want to be quick, plugging in this stop loss and profit. And, I'll go ahead and, show you guys, what I'm talking about. All right, so same goes, 5 trades, minimum 4 pips in profit. It's a total of 20 pips per day. Same thing weekly, it's 100 pips per week. Monthly, 400 pips a month. Having goals, your goals can be more, it can be less. If you want to follow me and mimic what I'm doing, this is a pretty simple goal for you to hit, and especially what we have in front of you, it's going to be, real powerful because, just alone, and I don't even think I'll be exaggerating, but if I'm not mistaken, I think, Paul, help me out on the pip count. How many TPs we basically hit all week long. Today is Wednesday. What today is? Wednesday or Thursday? Today's Thursday. And we started calling trades Wednesday from the Impulse Scalper, right? If you was to take a guess, Paul, Jennifer, Andre, I know it's a lot, but how many trades have you guys think ran through the Impulse Scalper in the last 4 days? Not all at once.
I'm hoping Jennifer can help. I know she was keeping track of those. Let's see.
Just a rough guess. I know we could actually find out the exact amount, but a rough guess off the top of your head. In the last 4 days.
Over 30.
Say it again for me.
Over 30.
Over 30, right? So what would that be equivalent to when we're talking pip counts?
Well,
I know we have the US 30, so we have to count those different, but let's just say we were using the 100 pips on the US 30 for 10 pips. Then we would be roughly around, what, 300 pips?
Yeah. And we know it's definitely, we definitely.
And it's way more than 30 trades, right?
Yeah.
So the reason I'm saying that, guys, is my goal right here, I'm telling you 20 pips a day, right? So if I'm telling you 20 pips a day and we went through 4 days already, so technically that would be 80 pips that I would be shooting for. Well, just off of this Impulse Scalper, we're way over 300 plus pips in 4 days, right? So my 20 pips is not much. I just want you guys to understand, you know, how much. Jennifer, you got a number, or I see you shaking your hand? I can't hear you. You're muted. Oh, Paul got you muted? Paul mute everybody.
My bad. They good now.
Woo, man, that was crazy.
Ooh, it is definitely, personally, I caught like 37 trades at 10 pips a piece, and I was only doing bullish bearish. Okay?
37.
It was more than that.
Oh, my. Yeah,
but it was so many trades that I actually got to be choicey and pick out just the ones I wanted.
Hello.
So getting that good, man.
She said she got to pick out the one she wanted.
She got to pick out the one she wanted.
Hello.
The majority of them were just US 30 and oil also. Like all the other ones haven't even gone crazy, GBP. So I don't want you guys to get too excited. I don't want you guys to get too excited.
Hey, Shanika said over 50.
Over 50, wow. So if we was looking at that, that would technically be over 500 pips. All right? All of them hit. Have you guys noticed any of them not hitting?
No.
All of them hit. Okay? Now, once we launch this next week, we're going to take off the regular buys and the sells. So it's just going to be bearish and bullish alerts, and then it's going to be, you know, the red lines crossing on GJ.
That's what I was going to ask, David, because those are the only ones that everybody needs to know that they could pull back.
Yeah. So we actually, you know, we're working on that, where we're just going to, right now, we left everything this week, but, you know, it'll be too much chaos with all those trades calling. Now, that can be something we add down the line and probably organize them. I don't know. Paul is the brainiac behind that, but you know, we still have more stuff, you know, to kind of fine tune everything. But the whole thing that I want you guys to understand is my 20 pips is nothing. That's my daily goal. So if I'm telling you that's my daily goal, and you guys heard the numbers that's coming from this Impulse Scalper, you know, you can clean up in the market and hit your goals every single day. Now, when you look at these pip counts and you say, well, you know, how should I set my goal? You have to go back to the basics. And going back to the basics, remember I had you guys close your eyes and I told you to imagine yourself in a grocery store and you purchasing some groceries and your bill is $50 and you give them $100 and they give you $20 back. What would you do? You get pissed off. So same thing. Just how you would know your money in that situation, you have to know your money when you're actually coming up with these daily goals. So if you know, if you fall in the spreadsheet, or even if you're not falling the spreadsheet, and you say, okay, well, right now my lot size is at, 5 cents or 10 cents. And your daily goal, you want to make $50 a day. I started off where my goal was like $20 a day, and then I increased it, a couple hundred a day, and then, a couple thousand a day. You have to continuously, goal set. So, the thing is, when you say 20 pips a day, you need to know what that 20 pips is equivalent to when it comes down to money. Because at the end of the day, we can look at charts all day long or take trades all day long, but we need to know how this money is calculating and how is it adding up. So with your goals, you need to basically have that working along with the money. The pip count, you need to know exactly, if I catch 20 pips for my daily goal, how much money I'm making off of that 20 pips. What day I'm going to complete off of the spreadsheet. What is my next lot size? What am I expecting for that particular day? If I have a pretty decent day where, I catch more than 20 pips, what would be my next step? What would it be? So set it every week. You can even increase your goals every week, but know the dollar amount behind it. Are you guys with me? Don't be quiet. Put some ones in the chats if y'all with me. Y'all a little quiet. I know we got some questions that was kind of in there. So Jen, if you can look at those and just, highlight them so when I start taking questions. All right. There you go. So everybody's awake. All right. So the reason for scalping, like we said, catching pips quick, same weekly withdrawals, fast movement. You trade any time of the day. Consolidation, meaning you can trade any time of the day. Same thing. You find a broker, low spreads, low commission. They reimburse on your deposit. That's fine. You do your research on your broker, or you can hit me up. I can tell you which broker I'm using. Now, same thing of finding one pair and marrying it. Same exact stuff, guys. You want to know how the movements of it is going. Now that we're kind of branching off of just off of not only GJ, but you can use these strategies with other pairs. That's why, I tell you guys, when you get it, you want to back test it. You back test the pairs, you use this stuff on any pair you have. You back test a strategy, you use it on any pair you want to use. I like GJ for the movement, all right? So let's get into it. Now, a lot of what I use, like I said, the three persons I kind of followed into my strategy was Dr. K, number 1, Jamal Green, number 2, and then Stevenson Lindor, number 3. And I took, certain things off of their strategy on what I was using. So the cloud, the Ikimoku Kinko Ohio, I said it right, or I may have butchered it, but AKA that's the cloud. You'll have people call that the cloud. This is something that Dr. K started with. I started and I just followed it. All right. So I basically, you do something for so long, it becomes a habit. This is my habit. I love the cloud. I look for certain stuff. So I use 3 indicators, guys. The number 1 indicator for me is the cloud. All right. The number 2 indicator for me is the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Number 3 is the Bollinger Bands. Now, I'm going to show you how you can use the Bollinger Bands, but I actually don't use the Bollinger Bands anymore because I can actually identify what I would be looking for on the Bollinger Bands with my naked eyes. And that's what I'm going to show you guys. So technically, if you don't kind of catch it in the beginning when I'm showing you it, you will be able to use the Bollinger Bands as an indicator and have it identify, the highs and the lows, all right? So remember, we're scalping 2 ways in the market. Number 1 was the impulse. That's what we went over yesterday. Number 2 is going to be the consolidation. That's right now. All right. So you want to study at least 2 to 3 indicators. The reason being is what you're using the indicators for is to give you confidence in the trade you're about to call. Remember, nothing in life is 100% guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is if you're living, you have to die. That's the most guaranteed thing that somebody can tell you. But if somebody tells you you're going to trade, and you're gonna profit 100% of the time. You're not gonna take a loss. They're lying. The thing is, you want to minimize the losses in the market and capitalize and have more wins in the market over your losses. So when you're making these decisions in the market off the consolidation, you want to basically have, at least 2 or 3 indicators working for you. So like I said, I use the cloud, which is the Ikimoku Kinko Hayo. That stands for, basically one glance equilibrium chart. Now, a few things that we take off of the cloud is basically the Tikinson, which is the signal line, aka the money line, or the Kijinsen, which is the confirmation line. All right. All right. So buying and selling on the signals, right? So one of the things you guys will use on the lines crossing, which is going to be, on the impulse scalper, you're going to see it says red line crossing above the blue line or red line crossing below the blue line. All right. So here's the thing. When the red line crosses above, let's start to the left. I'm sorry. When the red line crosses below the blue line, basically that's just an indicator that it's going to go down into a sell. Now, it's more indicators you're going to add to it, but that's just one indicator. So when you look at this stuff, you can back test it. All right. So if it crosses below, basically it's an indication of a sell. If the red line crosses above the blue line, which is on the right side of the chart, basically that's a buy signal. So if you look at these examples, you'll see when it crosses, when it crosses below, the trade drop, and when it crosses above, the candles, shot up. All right. Remember, you're not basing this off of one indicator. A lot of times people just take this and they just run with one indicator and they don't look at nothing else. All right. So the RSI, Relative Strength Index, this is what I use. You use this for 2 things, 70 and 30. Okay. So when price is over 70, that's basically saying that price is overbought. Okay, so if something is overbought, you're going to start looking into selling. So remember this: if something is overbought, if the RSI is over 70, then you're going to look to get into a sell, because if something is overbought, it's going to eventually come back down. All right. When the RSI is under 30, if it's below 30, that means price is oversold. And if something is oversold, that means it's going to do what? Come back up. So you're going to look for a buy. So now you can combine those 2 indicators and you can say, okay, if my line crossed, and then you look at the RSI and you can kind of see where it's at, you can kind of make a decision to say, okay, I'm going to jump in for a buy or sell, depending on what the RSI is doing, along with your lines crossing. All right. All right, the Bollinger Bands, basically, it identifies the highs and the lows of the consolidation. Now, when I go into trading view, I'm going to actually be able to show you guys where you can actually identify the highs and the lows from your naked eye. But if you can't see it, you can use this indicator, which is the Bollinger Bands, and it'll identify it. Now, Linden, which is another master scalp trader, he uses the Bollinger Bands and have a strategy that works with the Bollinger Bands. It's called a squeeze. So that's, if you want to jump on his training, you can get, information on that too. All right, but this identifies the highs and the lows. All right. Remember, leverage is key. You always want to practice proper risk management. All right. Using the spreadsheet is always going to help you out. So when you're scalping the consolidation, here's a few things you want to look for. All right. First thing you want to do is you want to find your highs and your lows. When I say the highs and the lows, I'm meaning, okay, we say the market is moving 3 ways. It's moving up, it's moving down, it's moving sideways. So if it's moving sideways, that means that you're identifying it as consolidating. So what you want to do is, if something is moving sideways, you want to find the high point and you want to find the low point. And in between is where it's moving sideways. So when you identify that, if you look at the chart, basically when you've identified the highs and the lows, for me, the market, the candles have to be going at least 10 to 15 pips. Why do we want it to be 10 to 15 pips? Because remember, once we get in, we're looking at throwing our stop loss in profit at 4 or 5 pips, right? So if the market is going, if we're looking for 10 to 15 pips, we can actually catch it on the way that it's going, in the direction or the trend that it's going, 2-3 times if it knocks you back out by putting your stop loss in profit. All right, so once you identify is moving at least 10 to 15 pips on the consolidation, you want to enter the direction of the trend. So this is where the trend is your friend. All right, but remember, we're just going in and out, in and out, in and out. That's what scalping is. We want our money and we want it now. All right. All right, we're still going to use 10 pips for TP because this is what Dr. K had me do, 10 pips and dip. I need to make a dance for that or something. 10 pips and dip or something. A song, a dance, something. But yeah, 10 pips is what we use, on it. If we catch 10 pips, that's good. But our goal is really to get in profit. Remember, I like my money. I don't like to lose anything. So my goal every time I get in the trade is putting that stop loss in profit to make that a risk-free trade. The faster I can get that stop loss in profit, I protect my money. I don't care what happens after that. If it hits 10 pips, I'm happy. If it don't, I'm still happy because that's 4 pips I didn't have. So you throw your stop loss in profit and you ride it up to the 10 pips, or you ride it down to the 10 pips. There we go. Same thing I was just saying. All right. Any profit is good profit. And remember, if the market is moving too fast for you, when you're in profit, go ahead and close out. It's okay to close out and take a few pips. I tell you all the time, put $100 in the bank account and leave it for a month. And tell me how much money you get from it at the end of the month. So if you actually think of that when you're trading in the market, even if you catch in $5, $6, $7, $20, $30, you're understanding, what you're doing in the market. Because if you had that money sitting in your bank account, you wouldn't be making the amount of money you'll be making off of it. All right? Just a summary, guys. Set some goals. Anything you do in life, you set goals, all right? Make regular withdrawals. Use a broker with low spreads. Use 2 or more indicators for confirmation. You hear the key word in that is confirmation. That's all this is. Everything you do in the market, you're using stuff for confirmation and confidence. You want to be confident when you jump in a trade. You don't want to panic. If you're scared, that song jumped in my mind just now. But if you're scared, you need to go someplace else. You can't be scared. You have to be confident in your strategy, confident in your decision. Remember, 90% of trading is what? Mental. So you have to be confident. If you're not confident, you're going to second guess yourself. I had so many people, I think I called a trade on Monday or so many people was panicking. Oh, it's shot up. We tell you to leverage all day long. We tell you what to look for in the pip. I tell you, I don't get worried until the trade if it hits 70, 80 pips, right? But then you have to let the market do what it do. Now I think GJ is back at 30, 40 pips in the egg. That's nothing. But you just let it run and be confident in what you do. Don't panic. If you start to panic, you make the wrong decisions. And the wrong decisions would be, okay, closing on the trade too quick, and then you be frustrated that it comes back and hits your take profit. And he's like, man, I should have stayed and wait. Being confident is basically, not letting the trade run, like it should. Being confident, is second guessing yourself. That's not being confident. Second guessing yourself. If you make a trade, by yourself, or if you get a trade call from me or the Impulse Scalper, you need to know the strategy so you can be confident in what it's doing. If you're not confident, you're going to be panicking and you're going to lose your mind trading, all right? Remember, any profit is good profit. I don't care if you make a penny. That's a penny you didn't have. Remember, if you can make a penny every day, that thing will multiply. It'll duplicate. You'll make a lot of money. So if you can, put your stop loss in profit fast enough, because the market moves pretty fast. Close out the trade. All right. And remember, do not over leverage. When you over leverage, remember this, because it will happen to some of you guys on here. When you decide to make that decision and you over leverage, remember, the market is going to slap you back into reality. Remember, I said that. When you decide, and if you decide, please don't. All I can do is tell you don't do it. But if you make that decision to over leverage, remember, just think about it. Think about it. If you have a person that commits crime, right? Let's say you have a person that, is famous for, burglary, robbing people, right? Do you think they when they decide to rob somebody, or when they decide to break in someplace and steal, do you think they go in there, to basically get caught? That's their criminal. That's their last decision on go doing something that's going to get caught. So they may get away with it a few times. Hey, get where I'm going with this. They may get away with crimes a few times or for a while, right? You may get away with over leveraging a few times, but guess what? That one time they get caught, that one time that criminal gets caught, they get sent to jail. That one time you get caught over leveraging, and you shouldn't have been over leveraging, you blow your account. So if you stay on the straight and narrow, which is leveraging your account properly, proper risk management, you're going to be good. Weekly withdrawals, you're going to be good. All right? And like I said, Ronald Reagan, his famous quote was what? I trust you, but I must verify. So even though I went over this information, go look left on the chart. Back test it. Back test it. It don't lie. I can't change the candles on what happened in the past. Go back test the strategy, see what happens, all right? Let's take some questions, and then we will go over a few consolidations on TradingView, and then I'll tell you guys what you can look for on the impulse scalper that works with the consolidation. All right, so we are now open up for questions. Paul, I think you got to unmute everyone.
Right. He be holding everybody back.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Okay.
I got a quick question.
Okay.
All right, let's get no. We got Gerald, you was first, but I see Indiana. Ladies first. So I'm gonna get you second, Gerald. Let the ladies go first. Go ahead.
Thank
All
you. Thank you. I wanted to know if you can please explain a little bit about the consolidation. How do you know that there's a trend going in a like how do you determine whether the trend is a buy or sell when you're in a consolidation, being that there's so, like it's pretty much just at a flat, but there's sells and buys being done at the same time. Like, how do you know which one's the trend?
Okay, so let's look at this real quick. 1 second. So remember, you want to look at we're using the cloud, right?
Okay.
So in the cloud, remember, we're looking at bullish and bearish, right? 1 second. So depending on, this is my setup. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in this situation here, you have a bullish and you have a bearish cloud. So in my setups, this green cloud right here is basically what? Bullish, right?
Bullish, because it's going up.
So that means it's an uptrend, correct?
Yes.
All right. Right here, this cloud that's forming is actually what? A bearish. So that means it's a bearish. It's going into a downtrend cloud. So let's go back and look. What kind of cloud is this right here?
Bearish.
What are these candles doing?
They're going down.
So that's what you call a downtrend, right? Now you have some people that can mark up. I don't be into all that making my charts look pretty. I use my naked eyes and everything I do. Now I may look at, I look left for, for support and resistance, but you can go through, this is all in the academy too, or you can go on Jamal trainings where, and this will be more powerful to you. He uses zone to zone. He trades zone to zone. He uses support and resistance. If you have that to go along with trading consolidation, it's game over. You can trade any time of the day. You know where you're trading. You know when you trading from zone to zone, or if you're looking at engulfing candles, like all that stuff. Me, because I'm in and out the market pretty quick, I follow, my 4 indicators I look for is 1, the trend of the cloud. So if this is a downtrend, or this is an uptrend, that's one of the first things I look for when I'm trading consolidation, the trend of the cloud. Uptrend or downtrend, all right? Then the second thing I look for is I'll look for my lines crossing. Is my red line above my blue line? Or is my red line below my blue line? That's the second thing I look for. The third thing I look for is my RSI. Right now, the RSI is at what, 41? 41, 42. So it's kind of in the middle, closer to being oversold. So that's my third indicator I look for. My fourth and final indicator is these dips in the cloud. I look for my dips. For me, the dips is a magnet. The dips is a magnet. So the dips is going to pull the candles towards the cloud. This is in my back testing, guys. Now, I want you to stick with what we've been talking about. If you have a KISS moment, you type KISS, K-I-S-S. That means keep it simple, stupid. It's something the light bulb went off. All right, so those are the 4 indicators I look for. All right, the trend of the cloud is number 1. So this is a bullish, uptrend. Right here is a downtrend, right? Second thing is, where's my lines at? My TK cross. My red line is above or below the, and that basically my second thing I look for. My third thing is my RSI. I incorporate the RSI. If it's close to being overbought, which is over 70, or if it's close to being oversold, which is under 30, that would help me make another decision on the consolidation. And then my dips in the cloud. Anywhere you see a dip, you'll see a pullback. Not a pullback, but you'll see a magnet. It'll draw it towards the cloud. So with my testing, it's usually 2 candles behind the candle of the dip or 2 candles after the dip. So it's in the vicinity. So there's no such thing as a perfect entry, but you can be in the vicinity of where things is going to happen. So like, for example, you see right here, we had a huge dip right here, and it was going down, and you see my buy candles, it worked with my dips, right? And you can zoom and you could go through this, all day long and back test this stuff, all right? Most of the time, the dips works as a magnet, all right? Now, so I think that alone was answering that question. I won't go further from there until, we have another one. Because I will go back to trade review.
Yes, thank you.
Did that help?
Yes,
Indiana?
it did. Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we had Gerald next, and then Nathan, I think.
I mean, you just pretty much answered my question. What's your explanation? All right,
So that was a KISS moment.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there you go. Nathan, you had something?
David?
Okay, Gloria. Go ahead, Gloria.
Yeah, the dips.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the cloud up there, if it's in the sell, the dip's going to be at the bottom. And if the buy, you're looking at the top dips.
Yeah, so for example, right here is above. So my dips would have been, above here. Now, I can go into more, in the future, I will go into more trainings on what I look for too that can actually tell you where these candles are going to go with my dips. A lot of people that's been following me, they'll hear you, they'll tell you, okay, there's a flat line above. That means my action is going to be below. So, I mean, there's more stuff to the cloud. This is just basically, consolidation training. But, the dips in that question you asked would be, if the candles are above, the dips will be above the cloud, and that's what I'm looking at. If you're below, if the candle's below the cloud, the dips will be, on the bottom side of it. But 9 times out of 10, where you see most of the dips, that's where you see most of the most of the candles. That's where most of the action is happening.
Okay, thanks.
All right. We got some other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Tony.
When you draw your support and resistance lines, what time frame are you using? Are you still in the 15-minute, or do you?
So remember, I say I don't draw the support and resistance.
Oh,
I just look left. I look
Okay.
left. You know, if I want to, look at bigger time frames, because the bigger the time frame, the bigger the story it tells. But more than likely, I just look left. Because remember, I'm in and out, in and out.
Okay.
I'm in the market and I'm out of the market. So what I would do, like for example, this is some of the things I would look at. Like for here, this is where we at right now, correct? Are you following me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so right here would be the next where I would be looking at, basically on the floor. So I would expect, so let's just say, for example, if I was going in, and I'm just giving you an example, I'm not, saying what I would have done, what I'm doing right now. But if, for example, I was going in for a buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is I would look left. So I would look here for this support, and then I would go left and find where I see more support that's below, like right here also. And then what I would do is I would make that decision. I would say, okay, right now we're at 145.298. I would come here and I would say, my next support here would be 144.079. Can my account sustain that? Am I willing to take that risk? This is if I was going into a buy. You see what I'm saying? I would make that decision on, hey, should I go in for a buy? And if this thing does pull back, and this is consolidation, guys, impulse, indicators don't even matter. Impulse, that's why we did 2 separate trainings. So I would look and I would say, okay, if I do get in this trade and I'm trading the consolidation, and let's say, for example, news that surprises me, or, the market goes the other direction, am I willing to go this far? Or I can go down more, and you can change the time frame to go to lower support. So I just basically look left, But like I said, if you have that training of support, resistance, zone to zone, then guess what? That's you. The more I keep it simple, man. I have a busy day. You guys see, I'm fresh out of work. I've been working all day. I was up from basically 3 o'clock this morning looking at charts, trading. Went to the office about 6, 7 o'clock. Basically, I'll work all day. Went to do some other stuff at my other business. Came straight home, and I walked straight into my office to do a training. So I keep it simple. Now I understand, support and resistance to a certain extent. I understand zone to zone. You can mark it up on the, on the 4 hour, and you can, I don't like all that stuff, So I just try to keep it simple. But if you can incorporate that into this strategy, it's game over. So if support and resistance, zone to zone, market structure, and you incorporate that into, scalping, man, you talking, you be like, who is Mr. GJ? Shoot, Mr. GJ better follow me. That's how serious that'll be.
But I didn't understand. I guess when I looked at your chart, I'm not understanding exactly why you went into a buy, I guess.
I'm not saying I would have went into a buy. I'm just showing you if I did go into a buy, what I would be looking for. I would definitely, right now, no, I would definitely not go into buy.
Because I was like, I don't think I understand anything, because I would not do that.
No, yes, I'm not. Okay. I'm just showing you what I would look for if I saw something that I would make a decision to jump into a buy.
But what we're seeing on this cloud here, because I don't really see that this is a bearish cloud, right? So that means that the market is going to go down. So it could be an opportunity for a sell if we're looking at this, right?
Yes, it could. But for now, right now, so if you wanted to trade the consolidation, so this is what I do when I trade consolidation. Remember we said we're going to look for highs and lows, right? So I look for highs and lows in the vicinity. It doesn't have to match all of them. Let me just show you what I do. You jumped the gun on my strategy. I was going to do this last.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
And see, this is what I'm doing now. Like I'm drawing those lines so I can see the highs and the lows. Because then when it gets in the vicinity of one of those lines, I go in for the opposite way because I'm expecting it to reverse, right?
Yep. So this is what I look for. So you see, I draw. So I'm looking in this vicinity. Remember, market is going 3 ways. Which is my 3 ways?
Yeah. Right now you're going sideways.
There you go. So this is up. This is down. This is kind of sideways, right? Basically from this area. So what I do is I find majority of my candles, right? Majority of them, and I'm on the 15-minute time frame, guys. You can do bigger time frames. That just means bigger pip counts, you know, so just be careful on that. So this is where majority of my candles are, highs and lows, right? It's in this area. So what I would do is, like you say, yes, it is a downtrend cloud. It is a bearish cloud. So what you would do is you would basically find the candle when it's coming up to your high, and then you would enter in as a sell and catch it going down. Because if it breaks consolidation, then basically you know it's going to break in the direction it's going. Now, this is just a 15-minute. So for you to really find out what what your trend is doing, I would tell you to look at the bigger time frames when you look at, the trend. All right, just to kind of get an idea of what the bigger time frame is doing. But in this example, we see a bearish trend, a downtrend, right? Cloud. This is my highs, this is my lows. So I want to scalp go in the direction of the trend. So right here, this is where the consolidation started, right? So this would be an entry where I would jump in. Well, first thing first, what did I miss out? What did I not verify once we started looking, once we draw the highs and lows?
The lines in the RSI?
No, we didn't verify the pip count.
Oh, 10 to 15, right?
There you go. So right here was 25 and right here is 34. So technically, I wouldn't even jump in this for consolidation. Why? Because it's not 10 to 15 pips.
Okay.
That's about 9 pips. Does it make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
So sometimes you just gotta check everything you're looking for in your strategy. So right here, after I draw my high and my low, I would basically verify my pip count. If it's not 10 to 15 pips, I'm not gonna risk it. Because remember, I'm trying to get 4 pips, but I'm not gonna risk it. But in this example, what we would have done is wait till it if we're going in a downtrend, we'll wait till it get close in the vicinity of your high, and then you would jump in as a sell, catching it down, right? Okay. And then you would hit those pips, and then you would wait for it to go back up again, and then you would do that. You would just keep on repeating it.
Yes, I now see what I've been doing wrong. Because I didn't know how the cloud fit into that picture. I could see everything else, but I didn't understand the cloud. So this is very helpful.
That's a KISS moment?
Yes.
Hello.
Thank you.
There you go. And then we got some more consolidation here. I mean, consolidation is basically scalper's paradise. That is scalper's paradise, consolidation.
So how do your other 2 indicators fit into this? We looked at the bearish cloud, so we know that it's a downtrend. The RSI is getting I know it's in the middle, but it's moving towards, going towards 30. So it would seem like that indicator is kind of like either it's just going to be consolidated.
I don't worry about the RSI until it's like really close to over 70 on the 30. Right now it's at 41, so I won't even worry about the RSI right now. I wouldn't even look at that.
Okay, so it's the pip count and the trend and the lines crossing.
Yeah, and so basically the Bollinger Band, if I was to take all this off and throw the Bollinger Bands, you're going to see the Bollinger. Let me show you. And the reason like I said, I don't need the Bollinger Bands anymore is because I can see my highs and my lows from my naked eye. So all the Bollinger Band is measuring the highs and the lows when it's consolidating. So this was my same consolidation area, right? This is my high. This is my low. Remember, consolidation is moving sideways. This is consolidation here. This is my high. This is my low.
Wow. Thank you. Yes, another one. Okay. Thank you, David. Thank you.
No problem. All right, let me put my cloud back on. I feel lost without my cloud. Dr. K will be proud of me.
David, before you do that, you got people asking about setting up the cloud. So would you go ahead and go over that? That way they can screenshot the settings and stuff since you got to set it back up?
I sure can't. Hello. 1 second. So the cloud is y'all need to be asking Paul for the cloud. So the reason I use the cloud twice, and this is Paul's pet peeve, I use it twice because it makes my cloud darker. So Paul, you can be mad all you want. And this is why, see, my cloud is not that dark. See, it's lighter. So I usually use the cloud twice. I know you can darken it yourself, but I'm just stubborn.
KISS.
It's a good thing he doesn't need any other indicators though, because you know pretty soon you run out of free ones.
Oh man, now we got the good stuff. Y'all better, Paul, you better be quiet before I show the real indicators. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't gonna do that.
Hey, I can mute you. I can end the meeting. I got all the control.
Yeah, he got all the power. But David, show him the settings because when you first,
I got it. There you go.
Y'all screenshot this because when you first set it up on TradingView, it's backwards. So you need to go in and edit these.
Show them the inputs too. Those are default too.
You got it?
I gotta jump off, y'all. So I got something really quick for y'all before I jump off. So I am so happy that all of you are taking the time to learn the consolidation, because that means you're gonna be able to get in here and make money anytime you want to. But if you are brand new, trading for less than 4 weeks, I'm gonna put out a challenge and I'm gonna trade it with you. I want you just to trade the impulses from the signal. And the reason being is we're going to go ahead and we're going to withdraw on Friday, y'all. Consolidation you're going to learn is going to break out. And it never fails. When it breaks out, it does not break out in your favor. It doesn't mean you won't come back and take profit, but you might be riding that trade for a few days or while you're waiting. If you are brand new, learn it. Trade it in your demo, but let's trade these impulses because you're going to get so many of them that you're not going to miss the consolidation, okay? I promise.
All righty. All right, guys. Do we have any other questions?
Hey, you want to bring up the settings on that cloud for me one more time? I didn't get it fast enough.
You got to be fast, Cole. This is the market.
I know. I messed up.
You already caught 900 pips today.
Hey. Let's not talk about that right now, all right? I just need the style. Yeah, there we go. All right, I got it. Appreciate it.
There you go.
David.
Any other questions?
David.
Yes, Alice.
It's Allison. Can you go over how to choose your pairs in TradingView like we talked about on in that chat the other day? So if I'm picking GJ, it gives you a choice of 4 different GJs. Is it the FX? Is it the Onanda? Does it matter?
I just usually pick the first one.
Okay.
That's good?
It is for me, but there were a lot of questions when it came to US 30 as to where to find the pair, which pair was the correct one, and that led me to thinking that maybe each selection was slightly different.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the one I have here. I just picked the top one. I think that's in it. Yeah, that's it. I just picked the top one. But that is a good question, though. Paul, you want to add on to that, or?
That's basically just data from different brokers that feeds into TradingView. So it really doesn't matter. There'll be slight differences in the spreads and stuff like that. But since we're not trading out of TradingView, it still just gives you a general idea of what you're looking at. And the numbers are not that much off.
All righty. Do we have any other questions? No questions. So everybody's good on the consolidation?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what's just real quick on the cloud, what makes the settings, the default settings wrong? Like why are they wrong when you first go in there and set up the cloud?
I think the lines of the Tekinson and the Kinjinson is opposite. That's what usually happens. Can you unmute Kellen for me, Paul? Yeah. So usually the Tekinson, the red line, and the blue line is usually the opposite direction. They're usually different. So that's why we usually tell you to fix that for TradingView.
Got it.
All right.
I have a quick question. For the properties of the Iko, Moku, Kinko.
Oh, you just butchered that. I thought I was bad.
The Tenkin-sen, Kinjun-sen, and Senkun-spam B, are they supposed to be a specific number?
I just use the defaults. Let me see. Yeah, whatever the default is.
Mine are set up like 92652, so I was just wondering if that was
92652. Yeah, that's the default. Yep. So you're good.
Okay. All right. Great.
All righty. Any other questions on consolidation?
Yeah.
David, this is
someone
Gloria.
asked real quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gloria. I'll wait.
So on the cloud, if the candles are within the cloud, do you not trade? Is that right?
So most people that trade the cloud, most people would tell you the cloud is inside the cloud is dangerous. If you've been following me for months, I have a saying called cloud action.
Okay.
When them candles are in the cloud, they're moving. So if you know what you're doing, and you're in the cloud, you can make some money real fast. So that's just my thing. So most people don't like to trade in the cloud, but if you leverage right, man, that won't phase you at all. It's more or less being leveraged and knowing what you're doing. But yeah, it's the cloud is like, hey, Christmas coming early.
Oh, okay.
All right. In the future, when you're looking at it, I just want you to watch when you see candles inside the cloud. I want you to just watch them. Watch how they move different. You'll see what I'm talking about. So even when I'm going over the stuff, I want you to take the information and still back test it, still look at these impulses or consolidations, what we're looking at. Do it in the demo, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you're brand new trading, if you see it goes in the cloud, then I wouldn't even, tell you to go trade with the cloud. In the cloud.
Hey, David.
Go ahead. Let me get this question that Andre had, Paul, and then I'll get to you. Andre.
Yeah. Actually, it might have been Paul's question. Someone was asking, could you show real quick examples of the red and blue line crossing?
I sure can't. All right, Paul, save that question, all right? I'll be right there. All right, so we're back testing, right? That's what we're doing. Oh, what I did miss out for you guys is if the red line and blue line is horizontal, that is another form of consolidation. So like right now, you see how they're horizontal? That's a form of consolidation. All right. Okay. So let's look at. So we had the red line cross above the blue line, right? It went up here, came down, went up here some more. So usually, and this is what we're going to tell you, write this down, what we've been looking at. So when you get the notification on the impulse scalper, I want you, if you want to catch pips on the consolidation from the impulse scalper, go ahead and put your take profit. You can take these signals. I had a buddy of mine that basically last week, all he did was take the trades. I told him what to do. When the red line crossed above and below, I told him to jump in the trades and go for 5 pips for your take profit. And every time he did that, he was all blue. Straight profit. I don't know if he's on this call right now. All blue. So when you get the notification of the red line crossing above, remember that's an indicator of a buy. So you immediately you're going to jump in for 5 pips as your take profit. If it crosses
I'm
below,
right here, David. I'm with you.
there you go, Valesco. He was the one that basically he had called me right before I was going on my cruise, and he was like, hey, what's going to be happening this week? And I told him, no, nothing really. I say next week we're going to tell people on how to trade the consolidation on the impulse scalper. And I said, I'll just tell. He said, well, I'll wait till you get back. And I said, no, it's simple. When you see red line cross above, jump in for 5 pips. When you see red line cross below, jump in for 5 pips. But you still have to be leveraged right. Same rules apply. And he sent me a screenshot, when I got back, and he's like, hey, bro, this when people were saying the market was slow, while the market was slow, I was still making money. So true story. So red line cross above the blue line, you jump in for a buy for 5 pips. Red line cross below, you jump in for 5 pips. Now, it can go more than that, but 5 pips, you want to keep it safe. So if you look here, it crossed below here. Don't get fake out. You see right here kissing, but it's never crossed again. So this here crossed, you see all these candles dropped. All right, let's look again. Right here it crossed, and basically it went up, cross here. Let me move my thing here. It crossed here at 67, came up to 75. So it went up about what? 8 pips.
Can you please repeat that? If the red goes above blue, you buy?
You jump in for a buy for 5 pips.
Buy. Okay.
Now
And if it's
remember,
below, it's sell.
this is more or less trading the consolidation. So what I would recommend, if you decide to do this, leave one account for impulse and impulse only. Hear me out. So if you're going to take these signals here when the red line is crossing above and below, you need to have 2 accounts. And before you trade this, you need to trade in your demo for at least a week or trade it for a couple of days just to get the hang of it. But you want to separate the impulse from the consolidation. Right here would be more or less consolidating. All right. So if you look at the red line cross above the blue line, that's going to be a buy. If the red line cross below the blue line, is going to be a sell. 5 pips and you're out. That's what the TP should be.
Does it matter if the red and blue line are above or below the cloud?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. All right. So yeah, you look here, cross below, you see it came down, it dropped almost close to 20 pips. Crossed above, you see it went from here, went almost 30-something pips. And you could do this all day long, guys. You can do this all day long. So when you see those notifications was going off, saying red line crossing above, red line crossing below, is the reason we left that on. But we didn't want to give you too much at once because we don't want, some folks on here may be strong enough to separate impulse from consolidations or not over leveraging and getting in too many trades and being able to sustain and wait for the trade to hit. But you have some folks in there that just want trade calls. And if that's you, you're doing it wrong. You need to know exactly what you're looking at. So even when you get those, you can still jump in and you can see why it's doing that. But yeah, you can do this all day long. Back test it. Red line cross above, bam, shut up. Red line cross below here, bam, shut down. All day long. We can go back years and years and years and years. Same thing, bam, red line cross below, bam, look at the drop. Look at it here. Red line cross above, bam, came up over here. it kind of kiss here. So I wouldn't even really take this one here. So this is why you want to know what you're looking at. So when you get the notification, you can take a glimpse at what's happening. All right. Crosshair, you would have caught your 5 pips. All right. Questions? Oh, I came and I saw a bunch of KISS messages. That's good.
I have a question, David.
Before you ask your question, Wilbert, answer this one for me. Did you trade US 30 in demo today?
No, I didn't have time. I blew my account last night. I with one trade, I messed up my record. I had 22 straight consecutive, and then I guess I got tired. So I should never trade when I'm tired. And I lost $2 and some cents on one trade, and then I was actually in the positive 50 cents, but after they take out the 50 cents, you know. So and then 2 trades this morning I closed because I didn't want to get over leverage. And that brings up one of my questions. When I look at my screen and I see the margin free and stuff like that, what should be the percentage that I know, hey, I may be getting into over leverage, because I don't want to really blow it up. I mean, I blew it up that I ruined my record, but.
So first thing you want to do is, before you remember we talked about that grocery store, right?
Yes.
And when you go in the grocery store, you know your money to the T, right?
Yes.
So that's what you want to do. Same thing trading. So for example, you know, when you're leveraging, you need to be trading 1 to 3% of your trading balance. So if you have $100 in your account, your trading balance, then the maximum lot size you should be using is 3 cents. And when I say maximum, that could either be 3 trades at a penny each, or 1 trade at 3 cents. Does that make sense? Some people say, okay, well, I'm leveraged right because I'm only supposed to use 3 cents, but then they get them 3 and 4 trades, but you times 3, you know, by the amount of trades they're in, and that's your total lot size. You see what I'm saying? I can't hear you. Oh, unmute him. Hold on a second, Robert. Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, so I'm way over leveraged right now because I'm in like 7 trades.
Oh no, that's why I told you trade demo. Remember, we had this conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
So that you need to write KISS in caps, KISS.
And my next, I had 2 other questions. I watched your legacy.
So hold on, before we go to the second question, remember, 1 trade at a time. Yes. Leverage is going to be key, Robert.
Yes.
Write that down big. Leverage is going to be key. Okay. Let the money come to you. You have control of the market. Don't go chase the market.
Yes, that's what I'm
doing. Yeah, when you chase the market, the market is going to, this is a $5.3 trillion. You know, if you go to the casino, what do they tell you? The casino always wins because the house always wins because the house have more money. There's nobody that can break the casino. Do you know that?
Right.
So yes, you can use that same theory. You can't break $5.3 trillion. I don't care how much money you put in there. You can't do it. You can't make $5.3 trillion or more in one day. Possible, but it's highly, I doubt it could happen. So you have to understand this is basically the house. The market has more money than all of us combined. So we can't break the market. So you have to have full control of the market. And the way you have full control of the market is you follow a strategy, you leverage right, you go in and you come out with what you went in for. You have a plan. You had a plan to go in for 10 pips. You come out after you get a 10 pips. You look for another setup from your strategy. You jump in, you catch 4 or 10 pips, and you come out. You have to have control of the market.
Yeah.
The market, if you chase it, you ain't gonna come out happy.
So I should close some more to bring up my leverage.
I think you should. Honestly, I think you shouldn't. For now, I think it's either 1 trade at a time or trade your demo the right way. Trade your demo like it's your live account. Do that for a few days. Do it for a week. Get comfortable. And then you go live.
I see dollar signs in front of my eyes.
Everybody sees the dollar signs, but you don't want to see the dollar signs leaving your eye.
Right.
So, we have to make sure we do things the right way. In the right way, you're going to benefit from it in the long run. And when I say long run, it can be, next week. But you have to start somewhere, and you have to kind of follow it, because I guarantee you, there's so many people on this call. We have over 157, almost 160. I guarantee if I was to say, type 1 in the chat if you've blown an account before, everybody probably will do it. So what we're trying to do is avoid you from blowing accounts. All the new folks that came in. When I started, I didn't have this. I didn't have this training every day. All I had was Dr. K in the morning calling pips. And I didn't understand what I was looking at. All I know is I trust her. Everybody was talking about her, that she was the queen of the cloud, and we would go in and we would make money. But I had no clue on what I was looking at. I had to go to one of her trainings to understand more in depth what she was talking about. So you want to do that. You want to practice, and do stuff the right way, because now the money will flow through a lot easier. Like I was talking to Paul all day long. I made almost $700 today, and I didn't even feel like I made no money in the market. Honestly, almost $700 in one day off about 5-6 trades, and all of them came from the scalper. And honestly, I felt like I did not make any money in the market today. The money will come. The money will definitely come.
Okay.
All right. What was that second question? Let's answer them.
Okay. On the legacy, I watched the legacy, how to set up my phone in yours. Is there also a video in there to setting up more than one account? So you mentioned that you should have an account for the impulse, account for the consolidation, a separate account. And then I want to do a third account for my strategy that I'm using. I made 140 yesterday. I made 100 today. And so I'd like to keep using my strategy, but I want to get into the big money where you guys are. And then is there also in your legacy a setup for the cloud for the iPhone? I'm old school, and unless someone's holding my hand, it doesn't connect with me, David.
So you can have as many accounts as you want. I personally have about 3 live accounts and 2 demos. Even when I'm practicing something, I don't have a problem going back and trading demo if I'm unsure about something. But I would recommend, if you're using different strategies, you use different accounts for it, because let's just say, for example, you're over here on the impulse scalper and you're trading impulse, and you double and triple, and you're making all kind of money in your account, right? And then you go over here and you take a trade from, who knows it, this person in another group or wherever, and that guy or that girl calls the trade and basically wipes out all of your profits from the impulse. Then you're kind of upset. So you want to use, account for each trading strategy you're using, or if you're taking trades from certain people, use a trading account for that person, and then use one for yourself.
Now, is it in your legacy school though? Is there a way that shows you the step-by-step to do this and that on your iPhone to add that other accounts?
Oh, I got an indicator. Hold on a second. Hold on. One second. What's that, Paul?
Line crossing.
DK cross.
Don't stay on point. Stay on point.
All right, sorry.
Question. That's with your broker, Wilbur. You have to go to your broker to set up another account. Basically, how you set up the account you have, you can set up as many accounts as you want with your broker, the same way you set up the first one.
Yeah, I did set up 4 of them with my broker, but how do I put it all 4 of or 3 of them into the MT4? So that's why I was wondering if you got a video on that. In
So
the
what
legacy.
you would do is every time you set up those accounts. Oh, thanks by the way, Shanika. I got sidetracked there with that signal. But every time you set up those accounts, your broker would have sent you an email with the login and the password.
Yes.
So once you go into MT4 and you set those up, then what would happen is you would have to switch from one account to the next when you wanted to trade on that particular account.
Okay. All right. And one last question. I want to.
I was going to tell you real quick. So on the left side of your iPhone, okay, when you swipe over, there's a little blue link at the top that says manage accounts. And when you do that, it's going to allow you to add your accounts one at a time. And then I know you've got one more question, but I want to thank you as a new trader for being honest, because I think that's something that the trading community lacks, is truth and transparency in trading. And I really appreciate you sharing your experience, because we try to, get our new traders to understand that everybody goes through this. We've all been there. And I think coming from you, it probably has more weight than listening to me for the last 3 months.
I get it from David. He's the king here.
No, I'm still at it, man.
My goal is to be able to go to Kenya to be able to pay for a trip to Kenya. When is that trip scheduled?
Paul, you got a date on that yet with Helen?
Not yet, but we're working on it.
All right, that'll be good, man. Come on, go Kenya with us.
We'll let everyone know as soon as we have a date.
Okay, all right.
David, I got a
Sounds good.
question.
Go ahead. Who's that?
Nick. I want to make sure I'm 100% understanding the cloud setup on. You're saying it's reversed?
When you first use TradingView, so on your MT4 on your phone is usually the default is the correct information.
Okay.
If you first go into TradingView, sometimes it's above. So what I would do, just not even looking at the settings, I would just pull out my phone, look at the lines, and there's only the red and the blue line. I look at my phone, and then I will look at TradingView, and if my lines are matching, then I'm good to go.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
All righty. Let's see. Ooh, this is a long thing. Let's see.
Dave.
How can we get? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ken.
Yes, you stated earlier about the red and blue lines when they're horizontal. That's another form of consolidation. Does that mean that means if they're not crossing in either direction, above or below, that means you shouldn't trade or try to get in for a consolidating trade, correct?
Yeah, so consolidation is just remember, it's moving sideways. Right. So horizontal, would just be another confirmation for you.
Okay.
And and this is, like I say, I like to follow one pair because you marry it and you understand, what happens with these pairs every day. So around this time, which is around Tokyo session, it usually consolidates. So usually when we was doing the 6x6, around this time I could always call a trade around here because I know it's going to be consolidating. So even though these lines cross, which is good for the folk, if we was looking at jumping in as a sell on that downtrend cloud, I still think once it crossed, it crossed it. I think after this next 10-minute candle finish, we're going to have horizontal lines again, which is consolidating. So that's just confirming the consolidation.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Kiss.
There you go. You have some other questions? Let's see. Somebody said, so the red line and blue line comes with the cloud? Yes. That's it comes with the cloud. All right. So let's look at this real quick. Let's see something. Did anybody jump in on the? Oh, y'all didn't get that signal. I'm sorry. Whoops. Did I just rub it in?
Yes, you did.
Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, you did.
Question.
Monday is right around the corner. All
When
right,
you
so
say, did y'all get that signal or anything of that nature? Are you talking about like when you post on Telegram, or are you talking about like the harmonic?
no, we have the impulse scalper. The impulse scalper, which you guys have access to Monday. We're actually, there's about 12 of us in that in a private Telegram that's getting signals. So a few seconds ago, we actually got a alert that told us the red line right here crossed below the blue line.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart right now as we're on Zoom, and it looks like that's what's happening.
Yep.
Or happened.
So let me tell you how powerful this thing is. So just think about it. You could be doing anything, throughout the day. You don't even have to be looking at this chart. And we got that you get this notification, and bam, it just told you a valuable point in making some money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, just on the consolidation, if we talking the impulse, it can be the same thing. You can be doing whatever throughout the day, and then bam, you get that notification, you stop what you're doing, and guess what? You go make some money. So that's some good stuff. But yeah, this here is not on the harmonic scanner. It's something that we have. All right, but Monday you'll have access to it on Monday.
Do you use the harmonic scanner?
I used it a few times before. Like I said, I wanted to come up with a strategy that I can use and I can be accountable for. Gotcha. But for new folks that's learning, I think that's more like copy and paste. You can use that. It's a powerful tool.
David, while you have everybody, remind them about NFP. I I told them this morning, but it needs to, come from you as the guru, or what we're going down tomorrow.
The guru?
The GOAT. You know who you are. You the GOAT, man.
NFP is impulse. Nah, you just be cautious. You just be cautious. That's the first Friday of every month. You just want to be cautious. I'll be honest. I've traded NFP a few times. So, I had one bad experience with it because you can't really, go off of your indicators. The only thing that could work for you is impulse. And I think we had one impulse on NFP before you guys were with me where it actually took us into the weekend. But it still came back and hit. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, it was a double impulse.
It was a double impulse. So, be careful. So if you do decide, sometimes I choose my battles wisely. Like, for example, if I get in a fight and somebody is twice my size or bigger than me, I may think twice about fighting that person. If somebody is smaller than me, hey, I may just throw a blow. So same thing when you using your strategy. If you see an impulse was to shoot for like 150 or 200 pips, one shot, bam, on NFP, and you sit and watch it and don't catch the correction, that's on you. I wouldn't go off of a 70 pip impulse. I wouldn't even go off of maybe 100 pip impulse, maybe 110, 120, who knows? But NFP, you can't really determine. So if you're like second guessing, I would say just put your phone down, put your computers down, and go study. Study the stuff, because NFP is a real crazy day. It's gonna be busy. So that's where a lot of people blow their accounts. So Wilbert, don't trade tomorrow, please. Are you there?
Yeah, so here's my question. So what is your opinion of trading consolidation, US 30?
Oh, no, consolidation, I don't trade at all doing NFP. It only is basically impulses if I do trade NFP. All right, impulse only. And it has to be more than what you would be looking for, just because of the market moving pretty crazy.
Okay,
But
y'all.
you can make a lot of money on NFP too. A lot of people make a lot of money.
Impulses. I agree with you 100%, but y'all heard it from David, so don't think I'm trying to tell you what to do. Stay out of the consolidation and stay out of US 30.
In the market, period, if you're new.
What I would do, guys, is if you want to, trade your demo accounts tomorrow. That's what I would do. And just back test stuff. You may learn something tomorrow that, you may have not been able to accomplish during a regular trading day. So, I would basically trade your demo, just get some practice in. It's always good to trade, get that itch. Everybody want to trade. But yeah, either trade demo if you're new, or it has to be a crazy impulse that is going to correct. All right. But yeah. Also, tomorrow's Friday, right? We went through 3 trainings from the beginning, going over the impulse, going over the consolidation. All of this stuff that we went over in the last 3 days is on my YouTube channel or in Mr. GJ TV.
Will be up tonight. All of them will be up by maybe midnight or something like that.
By midnight. You jumped the gun, Paul. I was talking about the other stuff, but that's cool.
Yeah. I've been getting questions about it.
You put the work. Oh, you get questions.
Yeah, I've already been getting questions about it. So
okay, so perfect. So all these trainers this whole week will be up by midnight tonight, and we have the same trainers and more that's on there. So this is what I strongly recommend. We have 153 people. I don't care if you've been trading for months with me. There may be something different you may get. That's the whole KISS moment. Make sure you go and you spend at least a few hours over the weekend. A few hours over the weekend watching these videos. Let me tell you why. Next week when we release this thing, we're not going to be answering a bunch of questions on, hey, I jumped in this, what should I do? It's not going to be that. We all trying to make money. So I beg you, remember, you have to put in the work to see the results, and the results is money. So go this weekend, you can start tonight, because if I don't recommend you trade on NFP tomorrow. So you can start tonight straight into Sunday. Sunday we'll have a training at 7 p.m. Central Standard, but just to kind of go over a recap on the signals. But I strongly recommend you watch as much videos as possible. As much videos as possible. Take notes, dissect them, hear it over and over again. Because come Monday, we won't be answering questions too much on what to do. Because your job this whole week, we wanted to make sure everybody be on their A game. So when they start to drop and you get 2 or 3 indicators and you're like, what to do, you're not going to get an answer from me. And I'm guaranteed if people are trying to make money, they're not going to answer you. And if they answer you, it's going to be after the trade is done. And then you're going to be stuck in a trade where you're going to lose. So watch the videos. We don't come here and spend all this time every time we do a training for nothing. We don't put these recordings all after Paul sits on these 1.5 hour, 2-hour trainings with me talking. He has to go through and edit it, and editing takes twice the time. It takes twice the amount of time to edit and make sure, we don't have, was it Andre dropping the F-bombs the other day? Or, me saying the wrong information, or, I'm chewing out the, certain stuff, or brokers or whatever the case. You have to go through all of that and edit it to make sure we're following procedures so we can continue to do what we're doing, helping change a lot of people's lives. So please watch these videos, because come Monday, it's game over. Everybody's on it. So if you're ready to go, I don't care, even if you think you're ready right now, and I'm talking to, folks like Andre and Jen, even Paul, to go watch some videos, and even me, I'm gonna be watching my own videos. So we can have this thing perfected. There's nothing perfect, but as close as being perfect. So when these stuff start to drop, I'm telling you, me and Paul was even not confused, but overwhelmed. this week. Overwhelmed this week. There's times you're going to get 3 and 4 trades all in one signal. You need to know what to do. You need to know what to do. That's the perfect question. Let me ask you a question. Who wants to answer this question for me? Unmute yourself. Anyone, not all at once.
Go for it.
What you got?
If you get 4 signals drop at the same time, Andre, what do you do?
Only take one.
There you go. Perfect answer, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Only take one.
Only take the one that's tied to the bullish bearish alert.
Well, next week, yes, that's all we're gonna have is bullish and bearish. So all we're gonna have is bullish and bearish and lines crossing. So that's all we're gonna have. We're gonna take out the random buys and the sells. Not random, but that's our little extra stuff we have.
Call you and see what you're doing.
So that means that if you got 4 pairs, GN pairs, GJ pairs, GBP pairs impulse on the US 30, you take the US 30.
No, you do not take the US 30. You take the regular pairs first. I prefer. I'm
Yeah,
more
you're giving
comfortable.
Paul extra work. Now you got to go back and edit.
That was a
You want to make sure I would take the regular pairs first. Make sure when you're taking US 30 pairs, you start off, I mean, I wouldn't even, to be honest, I know everybody's on the hype of US 30. This is my recommendation for next week. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all not going to like it. Next week when this go live, what I recommend you guys do is trade the regular pairs live and trade US 30 and US oil in your demo, at least for a few days. Y'all not gonna like it, but that's what I recommend. US 30 moves different, and it moves fast.
Y'all know what I said about truth and transparency in trading, right? You seen the trade I posted the other night on US 30 where I was down 150 pips. I just closed it at 225. Stay off of it until we know what to do with it.
I have to say, when I got started about 4 weeks ago, I started with a life account of $200, and I listened to a call of testimonials, and a lot of people said, do a demo. So I set up a demo that started me off with 1,000, and within days I was down to 800. So if I would have went live, I would have just lost all my money. I'm so happy I went demo, and I'm still stuck on demo for now.
Yeah.
They don't let you trade 200 live. 200 is not enough. And so, I mean, I'm telling you, this was $225 of my money, not the demo. And I will repost it. The only reason I'm showing this to you is because I'm trying to let you know that, I joke around and laugh a lot, but it's real. And the losses are real.
All right, guys. So that is what we got for the night. I want you guys to just recap. If you have questions over the last 2 days or 3 days, now is your time to ask them. You have me here. If not, go ahead. Somebody had a question?
Yes. Did we, and I could have missed it because I've walked away from the phone a couple of times, but did we ever talk about how to calculate the pips for the new pairs?
Yeah, at the moment, I just want you guys to take the TPs on them. When you get the bearish and bullish, we'll put the TP in them. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it's just we have some things we're doing with that. We're just adjusting, some numbers in there. All right?
Okay.
So eventually, we'll start, in the future we'll do that. But our number one thing is, protecting everyone. So even on certain days, me and Paul will make a decision and say, hey, we're going to turn the alerts off. Certain days. We've done that before, just to protect you guys, because we know that there are few people, not few, but there could be a lot of people that's just there for the trades, just for the trade calls, which is cool because it's a powerful thing. But we want to make sure that we can do whatever we can to protect you. Now if you if somebody personally go and over leverage or jump in so many trades and do the wrong thing, then guess what? They can look in the mirror and say, hey, that was their fault. They blew their account or they didn't make any money. But we want to make sure we do the best thing in our power to protect everyone's account. So we do have control over this thing. And if we need to cut it off, we'll cut it off. Like, for example, in the future, like if we was actually having an NFP, I would tell Paul, hey, cut that thing off today. And he would say, are you sure? I say, yep, let's do it. Cut it off. Let everybody, understand that we're actually here for you guys to make profits, make some money. All right.
So just to be clear, when the Impulse Scalper goes live next week, when we get a trade idea or a trade call, we're just going to put the TP that you state in the message. We don't need to be, because at this point, I look at what my entry point is and I calculate the 10 pips. So you
just calculate 10 pips from your entry on that.
So aren't the calculations different? We're looking at it.
So on the difference is going to be on US oil, US 30,
well, I'm not going to trade those.
Okay.
I'm only going to trade the regular pairs, but we're looking at something different on those, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. I mean, GJ is the two numbers after the decimal. Paul, you have your lists in front of you?
So
I think she just asking for the 10 pips on them.
Yeah. So other than GJ on the list, I mean, other than GJ, US 30, and US oil, the rest of them, it's the third and fourth decimal. I mean, number after the decimal, right?
Okay, the third and fourth number after the decimal?
Correct, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just when I look, let me look at them now. When I looked at these pairs, yes, you're right. You're right. I thought that it was like before the decimal point or something. I saw something kind of weird going on, but I could have just looked wrong. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, perfect.
This is
so. Go ahead, Gloria?
I noticed you posted on the Telegram what got coming to us, and I noticed on one of them it was called 3 times at the same time. Were those 3 separate calls or were those duplicate?
They were at the same time.
So there was 3 same.
Yeah.
Just do one, and your take profit, it doesn't matter which one it is this take profit would have went for all 3 of those.
Well, no, there was 3 different. Were you talking which post? You talking about the bear? So on those ones, there were 3 different times on the bearish, and I think that was on the US 30, right, Paul?
Let me look.
Maybe Gloria, you can tell us which one you're looking at.
It was like 1114, and I seen 1114 3 times, the same pair. And then right below that was a take profit. So I thought those were all the same call.
Okay. Yeah, when that happens at the same time and you see the time is exactly the same for all 3, just take it as one call.
Okay.
Yeah, because basically it's identifying the impulse. So you know how the candles move up and down. So if it moves up and down within a couple of seconds and it hits those numbers we have set, it'll just basically say it 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right to look at the time, because if it's exactly the same, then it's just take it as one call.
Okay, great, thanks.
But there's also a time where it gave GN, GE, and something else at the same time. Was it GN, GU?
And GA?
Or GA, all at the same time. So that's when you look at the pair and make a decision which one you want to jump into.
All right, great.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Any other questions, guys?
Hey, I don't have a question, but I kind of wanted to piggyback off Jennifer about that US 30. Like, I'm also another candidate. Like, it is no joke. It'll give you everything you want, but it'll take it all the way right back if you make one mistake on it. So if you're not 100% comfortable with it, I mean, I agree. You need to get in a demo and trade that demo. I got told on one, and I've got a demo running on it too. Get a demo for $1,000 and only trade US 30 on that, but don't actually go live until you can actually build it to over 5,000. Just get in there and work it. If you don't spend time on it, and you don't focus on it, and you don't learn it, you'll never make it in it.
There you go. Yep. Any other questions?
Yeah, David. So when I'm going to do the demo with the U.S. oil, the decimal is 2 points over for my DP, for my PIP.
It's going to be, it's a two numbers after the decimal, because I think it's 4 numbers, 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Oil goes like dollars and cents. So 1 cent on oil is 1 pip. If it's 65.34, then 65.35 would be the next pip.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I was unclear. Are in the legacy, is there training on for setting up the cloud and the ECMICD and the ISR or RSI, those settings and everything? Do you have that in the legacy training?
I'm not sure, but I know if you go over my consolidation training, then you should have it. Or if you rewatch this video or this recording training, you should be able to get it in there also.
No, yeah, the settings are there, but how to actually set up my iPhone. You know, you have a video on how to set it up.
It's the same way you would set up the indicators. So you would just go to the F on there, and then you would just add those there. Yeah.
Okay.
Same way.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any questions? Anything?
Are we coming back to the same Zoom room Sunday?
No, we will have another one, right, Paul?
For Sunday, aren't we doing the link on the website?
Yeah, they do the link on the website. So you would just go to mrjpitwalking.com and you would click on live webinar at 7 p.m. Central Standard. That would just be the last recap before we actually go live probably that day. So remember, just so you guys don't, get upset, next week we're going to basically, everybody that's active with IML will have access to this Impulse Scalper. The following week, we're doing it every week. We're just the money. If you're on the money team, you have full access to it every week with whatever we're doing, starting Monday. But we're going to be, we will be pulling out, maybe once a month. I don't know. So don't get upset. We will make sure everybody makes money. But, we want to make sure, we do it the right way. So if you're not active, or if you got people that's, doing shady stuff, like we caught some folks the other day, you will be banned from it. Remember, this is basically our money, our time. Don't mess it up for everyone. We had, folks doing some shady stuff in the last couple of weeks. So please protect what we have. It's free to you guys. All you have to do is be active. So, just make sure you capitalize on it. Don't be that person to get a signal from it and forward it to another group or forward it to somebody. Because guess what? If you notice, every time it sends, we can actually track where it's going. We can see who all have access to it. So trust me, if you do it, we will ban you. We will ban you. And you will not have access to this thing ever again as long as I have it. So please do not be that person forwarding messaging to somebody else or to another group when you get a signal from him, because then you're going to risk those folks, accounts. Because every time you send a message, that's time going, the market is moving, all right? So please, please, please protect it. Who knows? Next week may go pretty good, pretty awesome. And we may just leave it again next week for all active members. Who knows? But just make sure you protect it. Also, you guys want to have a hold of this forever, go ahead and promote it. Hashtag Impulse Scalper, on social media. Shout us out. Make sure Chris Terry and IML know that what you guys have your hands on. And then, hey, we'll get this on IML, and you guys have full access to this every week. You won't have to worry about, me saying the money team and you guys saying, well, I don't want to be on the money team. So yeah, just make sure, hey, you guys, just make sure you shout us out and basically, let everybody know the Impulse Scalp. I mean, y'all see the logo. The logo is fire. So make sure everybody know what that logo looks like. And, we'll probably just leave it out, for you guys to have it. All right. Also, this is a new month. Paul, do we have the new charity up yet?
Midnight, man, midnight.
Midnight. That's the lucky number.
Man, I ain't sleeping tonight. Oh, man.
So tomorrow we will have the new charity out for the month of May. Make sure you guys go and support. You know the vision. We've been through this over and over. Please, please, please. Let's do it. Other than that, I think I am done. You guys have a great night. This was a really great week. We did what we accomplished. We got excitement back, got people refreshed. We got brand new folks not knowing anything about trading. Now they can actually go and enter trades and be successful and make money. So we were able to accomplish a lot. We set a goal at the beginning of the week, and we accomplished that with some successful plans. Now next week is another goal that we'll have a successful week, and everybody will make a lot of money. A lot of money, catch a lot of pips, but you have to put in the work. Put in the work, it means watching the videos, making sure you don't miss nothing. You may think it's simple as it seems. Trust me, watch them over and over, take notes over and over. If me and Paul created this stuff, was kind of overwhelmed this week, that means you who think you may know everything about the strategy or think it's so simple or think, oh, well, that's all I have to do. Trust me, watch them. Remember, bearish and bullish, wait for the next candle. If you jump in before, you can possibly not do it the right way and you can lose. So watch the videos over and over and over until you're sleeping about it, because when you wake up, bam, you're going to make money. All right? You guys have a great night. Hello.